Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this from. My name is Bernie. I'm in Melbourne, Australia, and I'm part of the Card Creators Plus team alongside Tammy and Stephanie. This week we're bringing you some ideas for Easter, and this was where I come in with the plus part of our name, Card Creators Plus. I'm actually not making a card. I'm actually putting together some treat boxes, some gift boxes that you might be able to use with your cards. So this is a tube of M&M minis that, if you gave that someone in Australia here, this is about $1.50's worth of chocolate. It doesn't quite have the same ring to it. I have little children that I give gifts to. They're my brother's grandchildren. So while I don't give them expensive gifts, it's just nice to have something. So this is the box that we're going to make today. So it's a milk carton type box, and it's just got a big Easter, Happy Easter on the front. It's got a bow tie that when you undo it, there's the box, and there's another box of M&M and another tube of M&Ms. So that's what we're going to make today. So let's get started. This is another SVG file. I haven't created this using a scoreboard and cutter. It's, as you can see, it's quite involved. So I've gone and I've designed it so it's even got the holes up the top to put the ribbon through. All the measurements, all of our SVGs are in our Card Creators Plus group, and up in the file section you'll find a heap of free SVGs that or templates that Tammy, Stephanie and I have been working on. So you'll need 4 pieces. All the measurements are in the file as well, and 2 pieces. So that's our bottom and our bottom and our top. So that's what there. We've also got, I've got this on the front. You don't have to have a big sentiment, but I just like the look of it. And I've got a piece of ribbon to thread through. So as you can see, if I can get this, there's some score marks. So I've gone ahead and scored on the score lines. And then we've got our 1/2-inch tab for our glue. We've also got our bottom pieces that have been scored. And at the top, to make the milk carton, there's 2 triangles, one on this one and one on that one. And while I won't use my bone folder on this at the moment, it's just nice to actually get a little fold so that it starts it off for when we get to the end. Just sort of just gently fold along those triangular pieces, so you can see now where those 2 triangles are, there and there. So what I like to do is, because this is flat, I like to add all my pieces now so that I'm not trying to work around, adding a piece while it's already folded and while it's at that angle. So I like to fold it flat. So I place my pieces. So again, there's our 2 triangle pieces. So, and this is the top of our box. So my 2 smaller pieces are going on the opposite parts from where those triangles are. So there's the 2 triangles on that piece, and these pieces go in here instead. So I'm just going to add some glue, and I'll just add the glue. I need to buy some new glue, and so just lining it up as best we can. Now I've got mats and layers on all of my pieces. If you don't want to use the mats and you just want to use layers, just take the measurements, just remove the mats when you're cutting, but I like having the mat and the layer. I've also gone around all my layer pieces with a marker pen just to take away these are printed on my home printer, so they've got white edges. So on this one I've just gone around with an orange marker, and just so it highlights it a little bit. Okay, so there's our top 2, and then we've got our 4 pieces, again just making sure they're all up the right way, and then putting them all in place. Now I haven't, I don't think I have, no I haven't. So that score line there, I didn't. So I was struggling to see where those bottom pieces should be sitting. But there we go, now I can actually see my score line across there. Line them up as best as you can. I like working close to me, so I spin things around. Because I've spun it around, I'm just making sure I've got it up the right way. And there's all our gluing done. So it's not all our gluing done, but it's the gluing of the mats and layers. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put glue along our edge so we can fold it down. So and if we just fold that over, bring this piece over and just fold it flat. I find it much easier if we're trying to fold and glue as many things flat as possible. So because that's quite a solid seam, I'm just going to actually make sure it's grabbed, and before we move on, we're in no rush. It's quite easy to come together. So what I like to do now is I like to fold one of these solid pieces in, and then the two tabs that have been cut, and then the last one. It gives the base inside, not that it matters, but it gives inside a flat bottom, just so nothing can catch in there if you're putting something other than a M&M's tube in there. So I'm putting some glue on these two tabs. And this tab. So I'm just going over and over, and the bottom one, this one here, will stick to these two tabs. And then I'm going to put glue all over this piece. And make sure that all corners are equal. So I'm going to just push that in gently so that my bottom is now flush, and I'm just going to put that down. I'm going to take my ruler and just flatten that bottom inside and make sure it's grabbed. Okay, there we go. So now if I want to put my tube of M&Ms in, I can. Now we've got our two triangle pieces that have got no paper on there, and what we do is we just gently push them in. So because we've given that a little fold previously, it just now pushes it in. Okay, so we push them in, and hopefully my engineering skills have done well and all our circles line up. So that's why we've got 8 holes across the top, because when we push them in, we need a hole to put the ribbon through. So there's our tube, and we're just going to thread some ribbon through, whichever way works for you. Now there is no front or back on this. You can choose which way you would like to do it. just going to put my, that I've lost right now. Oh, there we go. I'm going to put my greeting on there, my little sentiment. I'm going to push that through. Actually, I might do a notch in this first to help me along with my bow, and then put this through. And then I'm just going to tie a ribbon. Now, I'm not very good at ribbons, as I've said previously, but you get the idea. You know, you can mess about with it if you like. And I'll just get my scissors and cut. So there's the box with the sentiment for you at Easter. Now I want to put my Happy Easter big tag on. So it's easiest if I actually put my double-sided foam squares on this rather than on this. If I put it on here, I've got to make sure that I'm perfectly lined up. So I'm just going to probably put 6. One roughly in the middle. It doesn't really matter, it's just to give you somewhere for the sentiment to sit. And one more. Okay, and then I will take the backing tape off. And I'm just going to eyeball it now. So I'm going to line it sort of up on my mat. There's a, you know, I'm sort of in the middle of these lines. So this is 1.75 across, so it's not 2 inches. So I'm just sort of lining it up, and I'm going to, whoops, that glue is really sticky. I've got it on my thumb. And now my Happy Easter is going to go, I'm going to make sure I've sort of got the similar at the top and the bottom of this section, and there's my Happy Easter. So we've gone from having a M&M tube on its own to a little gift box. If I was good at tying ribbons, that might be a bit better, but you get the idea. So there's my gift box. So now I have 2 made. I'll do this one back up again, both saying Happy Easter and M&M tube inside. Thanks for watching. I'll probably be back with another gift idea of a box at some stage later in the week. But happy crafting, take care, and we'll speak soon.